Competition is the headline everyone wants to know about. I know that everyone's watching that regularly on a day-to-day basis, and I like the Shador. Listen, I want to be clear. Shador Sanders looked really good in the 11-on-11 reps he got. He kind of started with like he fell down on a boot play, and it was kind of an awkward way to start the session. But then he only got better from there. He completed a couple really good passes. One that was like a centimeter away from being a touchdown to the back of the end zone. That was a really good throw.
The NBA recently awoke to a headline that reads like a narrative twist rather than a news release. Bronny James has landed an endorsement agreement for $80 million. Not an all-star, not the league MVP, not even a player who played more than 10 minutes in a collegiate game. But Bronny, LeBron James's kid, recently signed a contract that sent shockwaves through locker rooms, front offices, and group conversations around the league.
People believe Shador can 100% be the starter of this football team. You said it's incumbent upon the Browns to put him in a situation. It's also incumbent upon Shador to do the work, which at talking to people in that building, they have said he is soaking up everything like a sponge in the QB rooms, talking to Flacco, wanting to learn. And also, let's not forget Dylan Gabriel. We spent a lot of time talking about Shador, but Dylan Gabriel is a guy who was drafted in the third. One source said to me, he is everything you want in a quarterback. He's just small. If he were a little taller, a lot of people would be looking at Dylan Gabriel a little differently. At least that's how they feel in their building.
Almost immediately, ESPN panelists rushed to make sense of it. Twitter lit up with emoticons, side eyes, and downright astonishment. Meanwhile, senior players, those who have poured blood and sweat into a decade of NBA slog, are apparently fuming behind closed doors. One unnamed Eastern Conference starter put it best. Man, I had to average 22 points before I even got a good shoe contract. Did this kid just cash out on potential? But it's not just about Bronny. It's about the current NBA, which prioritizes heritage, brand, and narrative over performance. The agreement is more than simply a compensation. It's a mirror reflecting the changing face of sports. And once the dust settles, one thing is abundantly clear. Bronny did not violate the league's regulations. He exposed them.
Bronny James is in over his head. He has been for a while. Bronny James is pensive. Like when I see Bronny James, man, I see that this kid is not really, seriously guys, I see that he's really not living in his purpose, man. He's not living his dream.
Let's be honest, if Bronny James had a different last name, this arrangement would not exist. Bronny was not even in the top 10 of his high school class when he graduated. At USC, he scored less points per game than the majority of G League bench players. But none of it mattered until the major brands started circling. Why? This was not a basketball bet. This was a wager on brand strength, and Bronny James is basketball royalty by blood. Nike was the first to bite. According to league data, the endorsement contract includes performance bonuses, signature merchandise lines, advertising campaigns, and digital branding on all key platforms. It's more than simply a contract. It's a worldwide marketing machine powered by Bronny's name. Add in Klutch Sports, the agency managed by LeBron's inner circle, and you've got a deal that never involved scouting reports. It was about legacy leverage. To be fair, Bronny has shown glimpses, fast hands, confident shooting, and strong defense. However, flashes do not earn you $80 million. Narrative does. The prospect of Bronny James on the court alongside his father, the best player of a generation, was simply too appealing for marketers to ignore. So Bronny jumps the line. While other rookies slog through summer league under fluorescent lights, Bronny has already signed contracts reserved for NBA luminaries. What about the veterans? They aren't thrilled. The reaction behind closed doors has been far from quiet. NBA veterans, some with championship rings, some with 10-year careers, are seeing Bronny's arrangement play out like a horrible joke with a hefty payoff. One Western Conference player was overheard stating, "I put $30 on LeBron once and still don't have a footwear contract. Bronny can't even drop 30 in college, and he's got the league under control." Brutal. Yes, but the frustration is real. What stings even more is how fast the story changed. Players who toiled through the G League, played overseas, or took minimal contracts to continue in the game, now witness a youngster skip years of work on the basis of his surname. While many acknowledge the financial aspect of basketball, many are silently contemplating the issue that no one wants to express aloud. Does performance even matter anymore? Social media is not helpful. Clips of Bronny's USC highlights are being repackaged with promotional music, while NBA stars with stronger credentials are buried in algorithms. Agents are allegedly taking calls from athletes who want to know why they aren't receiving the same attention. What's the answer? They do not have LeBron James by their side. For the league, this is a branding victory. To the veterans, this is a smack in the face. Bronny's contract simply gave the megaphone to celebrities in a world where skill used to speak loudest. Let's stop pretending this was an accident. Bronny James did not stumble into a $80 million payout. He was born into it. Behind the curtain, you can see LeBron James expertly pushing each lever. This had been the idea all along. LeBron was building a history arc greater than basketball from the time Bronny laced up his sneakers at Sierra Canyon with cameras on him. He did not only want to retire with 4 rings. He wants to physically transmit the mantle to his kid on the NBA stage. Every action LeBron has made since 2018 points to this. Signing with the Lakers, this was about legacy in place. Creating Spring Hill Entertainment, this was about media domination. Partnering with Klutch Sports, that was about keeping Bronny's fate under control. And now, the last piece is falling into place. Bronny not only gets picked, but he also becomes the NBA's first son to play with his father. And with a $80 million endorsement contract to sweeten the deal, this ambition has transformed from a movie to a real-life blockbuster. However, there is a twist. As the fairy tale unfolds, skeptics wonder how much of it is earned and how much is contrived. Nepotism? Maybe. Strategic empire building? Absolutely. LeBron isn't only confirming his GOAT title on the court, he's redefining the standards of generational dominance in professional sports. And the league is watching, helpless to intervene. Because whether you like or dislike the relocation, the James family has demonstrated that they do not follow the old rules. Instead, they make their own. Stats are no longer necessary in the NBA, since narrative takes precedence, and that is when Bronny James becomes unstoppable. On paper, Bronny's stats aren't very impressive. He wasn't lighting up the college scoreboard. He did not win any major NCAA accolades. But what about marketability? He's a powerhouse. More than 7 million Instagram followers, countless TikTok views. A fandom has formed based on LeBron's highlights, and they now demand a sequel featuring his kid. That's why businesses like Nike, Beats, and even big video game studios were scouting Bronny before he ever entered the draft. These businesses aren't seeking titles. They're after attention, and Bronny pulls them in by the million. He trends as he heats up. He headlines news about existence. Every appearance is an advertisement waiting to happen. This isn't about what he's done, but rather what others anticipate him to do. It is about the opportunity to observe history. The sight of LeBron passing a no-look pass to his youngster. That's marketing gold, and the brands know it. Compare that to the numerous under-the-radar rookies averaging strong double figures in the summer league, and you can understand the disparity. Talent gets you drafted, but hype gets you paid. Bronny's transaction is not a mistake. It is a signal. The NBA brand economy isn't just alive, it's booming, and players who don't comprehend it are already falling behind. The NBA is currently balancing 2 competing realities: on-court performance and off-court marketability. And Bronny James just set that rope on fire. On the one hand, coaches, scouts, and veterans continue to believe that hard effort, results, and game-time performance should take precedence over last names and Instagram likes. On the other hand, club owners and marketing executives are quietly muttering, if he fills arenas and moves merch, why does it matter if he only scores 7 points per game? This is the NBA's newest identity dilemma. The league has always marketed itself as a blend of elite talent and cultural impact, but lately, influence has won. The Bronny trade reveals an ugly truth. Certain athletes are worth more before they prove themselves. And it isn't just Bronny. Think about Zion Williamson's pre-debut fanfare. Consider Victor Wembanyama's foreign publicity before he stepped foot on an NBA court. But here's the difference. Bronny didn't come in with incredible size or game-changing agility. He came in with a tail. And in today's NBA, it is currency. Now teams are faced with an untenable decision. Do you invest in the raw, undiscovered talent who sells jerseys, or the seasoned veteran who does not trend on TikTok? Do you jeopardize locker room harmony for the sake of YouTube views? The National Basketball Association used to be a league of statistics and systems. Now, It's become a content generator. As Bronny cashes in before his first bucket, the league is left wondering if this is still basketball or show business. Bronny James didn't simply sign a large contract. He sent a seismic message to the NBA. The game has changed. This is more than simply a paycheck. It is a blueprint. Legacy, branding, and storytelling are now valued as, if not more than spreadsheet statistics. Bronny's 8-figure contract serves as a wake-up call in a league where some of the most hardworking players continue to struggle for recognition year after year. Not only for players, not only for teams, but for the entire system. What about the old rules? Dead. It's no longer enough to just display data. It's also important to create a narrative. Bronny, whether by choice or heredity, is the face of the new era. You do not need to agree with it. You don't even need to enjoy it. But you cannot ignore it. If a rookie with less than 5 points per game can earn more than half of the league based on potential and narrative, it raises the issue of whether the NBA is focused on basketball or attracting attention. In any case, Bronny has already won.